First and foremost, we want to thank you so much for choosing this episode of Two Dimes and a Token. We do have to give a disclaimer. This episode has a little bit of a sexual innuendo, goes very far down the rabbit hole. So if it's not your style, or if you're under the age of 18, we suggest that you back out, go check out another episode that we have. But if you are down for the ride, then by all means, continue with the episode. That's great. Welcome to another episode of Two Dimes and a Token.
Woo!
I am one of your hosts, Brock Nasty. Across the way, we have Kanyeezy.
You know what time it is.
Yes, we have Chris, a.k.a. The Token.
The Token. There's no other token.
Welcome back again.
Again.
Yeah. And we have an awesome guest of the pod today. Longtime old friend.
Hello, hello.
Hello from way back in the day. Miss Jamie.
Jamie!
Jamie, you see him?
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Appreciate you being here.
We have, I'm going to throw out job title, everything.
Let's do
Just
it.
kind of throw it into the world. So I actually reached out to Miss Jamie a little bit ago because Miss Jamie has a very unique career. She is in the exotic dancing career. And I know she has some awesome fucking stories to tell. And first thing when we came to the idea, Ash, remember we were on the phone.
Yes.
And Ash immediately had some really good questions to ask. I know a lot of people get curious about this type of industry, this type of lifestyle, like all that stuff. So why don't we dive into it? Like, where did you grow up?
Well, a little bit of Inglewood, a little bit of Fort Myers. My parents were...
Let's go with Fort Myers. It's no need to.
I'm from both, baby. Call me Southwest,
I
baby.
ran back to Inglewood, so that's where I'm at with Fort Myers.
Wait, almost forgot. How can we do this? This is almost second time in a row. So we do, as usual, we have a drink of the pod today. Our guest gets to choose. What are we drinking today?
Ace of Spades Rosé.
Oh,
Saved
shit.
this for this special occasion.
Look at that. That's what I'm talking about.
Cheers.
Cheers. I'm about to fill
Water
up.
boy.
Yeah. Babe.
Chris, what are you drinking today, baby?
Well, unfortunately, every one of our guests that come on the show drinks things that I cannot drink. So I'm constantly drinking water or energy drinks.
Time out.
We're having water with
Nate
you as
had energy drink as well.
I wasn't on the show with
I know. And then what's his name? Bodybuilder.
Yeah, no, Matt. We had protein
Matt,
shakes.
we had protein shakes.
I
so-
wasn't there either.
Yeah, I know.
You weren't there.
If you would show up, I promise you'll be drinking something completely
What did he
different.
say? You know?
Chris.
But I mean, that's like saying, hey, what if I came up as a guest? What would my choice of drink be?
Exactly. You get every single time.
You
Right.
It would the same choice. A sobering water.
Yeah.
A sobering water.
You know what? It's all good,
Not even
man.
lemon water.
Right. Just
Water.
that's Separate Hills. Since 1964.
Hey,
You know?
it says 16.9 fluid ounces.
Yeah, the pH level is great.
Yeah.
You know, it's like 80% pH level.
Getting you there. Getting you there. Chocolate wasted.
Daddy wasn't there.
Daddy was
Yeah.
not there. Pardon.
So let's dive back into it. So you a little bit of Fort Myers, a little bit of Inglewood, right?
Yeah, I moved back to Inglewood sophomore year of high school.
Yeah.
Lemon Bay. Dropped out senior year. Started dancing
I did not
the
know
week
that.
after I turned 18, actually, Emerald City.
Yeah.
You can edit that out.
You can edit that.
All right.
You got to start somewhere, though.
Yeah.
once.
Oh, God. What a place. That,
What made you want to dance though? What made
Yeah,
you
like,
want to right
Was
after?
that something you started with? You were like, this is the idea, or something inspired you?
honestly, me and a couple friends actually used to talk about, because I would go to parties and shit. I've always been super comfortable with myself, super comfortable with my body. Like, we would go
Yeah.
out to the keg parties out in the middle of fucking nowhere, showing my titties to do keg stands. Like,
Fuck yeah.
Fuck
but I can guarantee you,
Yeah.
most of the people from home that are watching this right now have seen my titties when we were in high school.
Hey.
So,
Gotcha.
Ain't
It
nothing wrong with that.
shout out, guys.
Yeah, ain't nothing wrong with
It's all
that.
right. It's all right. You gotta have a little inspiration. A little
right.
inspiration.
A little inspiration.
So I've
Nothing
always
wrong with
been
that.
I've always been super comfortable, never really shy about anything. And then rebellious teen, kind of did my own thing, moved out, needed money. Never was against the idea of being a stripper, so
Yeah.
when
no, when you
gave it a try, dropped trout 1 week after 18.
Yeah. 1 week after 18, so you're diving all into it. You're like,
We went right in.
yeah, that's fantastic. So what's your first week in that environment like? Like what's the experiences you're having?
Exciting
oh,
or
man, it was
what?
wild. Well, the amateur, so somebody took me to amateur night that Monday.
Yeah.
And then that Friday,
Chris.
I went.
See, Chris. Yep. Absolutely.
Yep, that's how you start. That's how you start. Yep.
I didn't do it though.
No.
No, I did watch some girl smoke a Black and Mild with her vagina though that night.
Wow.
Shout out to the person who took me. If you're watching this, I remember.
I didn't know if you inhale. You know?
That's fantastic.
It was the first. Honestly, it was like the first real stripper trick I've ever seen like somebody do too. So like,
Really?
that was
That's
first
incredible.
night. Like it was my 18th birthday too. That's how I was able to get in. So yeah, and then Friday night went in at like I don't know 8 or 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
And they said just come audition, and I went. And then they're like, okay, you can start. And I was like, right now, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that
Didn't
was
really
it.
have anything. So they like had these like lost and found area with some stripper shoes in it, gave me those, and then a pair of underwear that said Emerald City on the ass, and that's what I wore.
That's fantastic.
Looking like a baby deer, just like
Yeah. So like your first time, so when you first obviously you just got sent out there, are you going to like the main stage, or are you going just walking around? Because I don't know if some of our audience is probably doesn't really understand how clubs are set up.
Yeah.
Can you walk us through that first?
Okay, so Emerald City was like this huge room. They have the one main stage, and there was 2 side stages. He's actually done a lot with that building. It's really sucks that it's not in an area that with the kind of clientele for the things he did with the club, I will say.
Yeah.
But they had the 2 side stages, the main stage, and then I don't think there was many girls working that night, so I was on stage pretty quick. Like I came out and was kind of sitting, just what the fuck am I doing here? Like I'm really about to do this. Like, all right.
This is it.
Did you take anything before you went out there? Or was it just like, you know what, I'm just go out there sober? Or
No, nope, raw dog that bitch.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
So is it often like this when you do go out, so when you're going to work, do you have like drinks and stuff like that while you're working or anything like that? Or is that
Now I do, yeah.
Yeah?
Well, before, so I was 18, so like they really kind of watched that, so I really didn't drink at work.
Really? Okay.
When I worked there.
So what was like you're a week into it now. Are you just like, this is what I'm gonna do? Because did you like fall in love with it? Like what was that like?
Oh yeah. Well, it's probably one of my favorites. First week, like I've got all this money. I'm 18 years old. Like, I mean, it's not like that much money, but it was a lot more money than I had ever made.
I was gonna say, yeah, when I was 18, I was working jobs for minimum wage. I had 2 weeks, you'd bring home like $300-400.
Yeah.
So
no, and I made like $1,000 that first week, like real easy.
that's what I'm saying, bro. Bet it's $1,000 a week in that time frame.
Well, granted, listen, that was not always like I got really lucky that week because it was like October, so something was happening in town. I don't remember what, but there was like big money in there at that time, so it was really slow there. It's really rough.
Yeah, I feel you.
And then I was still in high school at the time too, so I was having some serious beef with my arch nemesis, and I just mollywopped her with ones in the cafeteria.
Yeah.
So I was fuck you, like trying to talk shit about me being a stripper. Like, oh, okay, cool. Like, you're fucking my ex-boyfriend who's a loser. Like,
yeah.
And I'm making all this money. You have fun.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
That's
great.
Oh, wait, getting back to it.
I want you to deal with your problems by becoming rich.
Yeah. Bitch, dance for me, bitch.
Well, then it was a little struggle there for a while. So, so I worked there. I went to Tampa in 2010 was when Scores opened.
Yeah.
And like I was going back and forth because the GM at Emerald City was like, you guys are scheduled 3 days a week. If you miss these days, like you get suspended for a week. And it's like, the fuck? And he would always like talk shit like, oh, you're going to drive to Tampa. They're going to take all your fucking money. Like, well, okay.
Yeah.
So I got suspended for the week because I missed some days because I was an 18, 19-year-old kid. Like, didn't want to work every single weekend.
Yeah.
Right. Shit, who does?
So I didn't go, and then I got suspended, and then I got in my car and went to Tampa. And then I made $3,000 my first night there, and I fucking never went back.
Right.
To
Oh my
Of course
god.
not. Who would?
No,
Never
my
went
god.
back.
1,000 to 3,000.
That's crazy. And how old are you when this happens?
20.
$3,000 in a night, dude.
I got a question though. So when you weren't first one on stage, did you have any experience dancing at all? I mean, or did you just go up there and start making some stuff up?
I mean, well, I've always been like ratchet ass dancer at parties too.
Right.
Like me and my friends are actually known for like car dancing. Like we've got moves. So I've always been a fairly good dancer. I was in dance classes. Like when I came from Fort Myers, I went to Cypress High Center for the Arts for dance. So I wasn't clueless on rhythm, but it probably didn't look very good. It probably looked a little wonky.
Hey, shit happens. You
I mean,
gotta
but
start somewhere.
she was like, I'm pretty sure everybody was like, okay, this is a young woman out here.
She has no idea what's
She has,
going on.
green.
Yeah,
That's
that's fucking wild, dude. What's the craziest night you've ever experienced? Because now it's during that time, and you're still same role, right? You didn't change professions at any point in time. You've just been doing the same thing.
Yeah, just still dancing.
See, so what is like the craziest thing you've ever had happen in a single night?
At that point, or
Let's
From
go
then to
all
now.
time. Let's go all time right now.
This,
Oh,
you know,
God.
the
I want to
sign
hear
behind
this
you
shit.
says it.
This is gonna be good.
oh man,
Was it you making a bad decision or somebody else making a bad
Yeah.
decision?
oh, we're going bad decision. No, craziest bad decision I've ever seen. Okay, so
Yeah, let's see that.
all right, it's gonna get a little graphic.
I love it.
So gentlemen that come to these places have certain kinks, right? So there's some guys like getting kicked in the balls, some guys like
Oh my God.
I've never met those guys. I'm just giving you that right now. You just give me that right
shit.
now.
Father got you alone.
all right, well
Kicked in the nuts.
well, hang on to your shorts. So this guy, crazy story, he would pay girls to drink their pee. He would come in,
Yeah, I can see that.
the faces. I'm loving this. Come in to drink their pee and like
What?
Let me know something
$1,000 a
about
pop. $1,000 a pop. So this girl, she's new, little baby deer stripper, has no idea what's going on. Meets him. She's like, oh, I don't know what to do. Like he wants me to pee in a cup for him. I'm like, it's $1,000. Fucking do it. What are you doing? You're not drinking it. Like what the fuck? And she's like, oh, I don't know. So, and in the back, so there's like house moms that are in the back that like help the girls. Like, so at Scores, there was pasties that they have to cut and stuff like that, or like help with makeup or brushes and just like extra shit to just kind of help keep the girls up. At this time, there was a man there, cool guy, gay guy, best, miss him so much. He peed in the cup for her because she wasn't comfortable doing it. So, I mean, whatever. So she brings the cup back to the table. The guy takes a sip of it, knows it's a man's pee, knows
What?
it's a man's pee, gets up, leaves, pays his tab, leaves.
No way.
Yeah.
Man,
How does he know?
How would
what
you
a
know?
pee expert, dude.
What a
I have drinking thousands of cups of piss. This is not a woman's piss.
Yeah.
More-
Pretty much exactly
Yeah.
just like
I
that.
know exactly what this is. Fucking done.
A little bit more annoyed than that, but
yeah, dude. That's oh my god, dude.
That's
yeah.
What's so? It's like, is that the biggest thing that comes in there? Like, you just different kinks, or do you have like just kind of some nights things get a little wild, or like
that's a spectrum of the things though. Like
yeah,
Everybody's got their own.
we got like, I mean, in terms of like money wise, wild nights, like the most money I've ever counted out ones wise was 100,000 in ones with like a group of people. Like it's a fucking lot of money.
yeah.
We had Super Bowl come through, the BCS Bowls come through. Like those are always insane. Super Bowl week, actually, that was quite a time.
Yeah. Shit. What's oh god? So what kind of people have you encountered? Like, what would you say is the coolest person you've ever met? And if you're not comfortable with throwing out names, it's okay. We'll move on.
I mean, she met me once, so we got to say. She don't have to tell you my name. I'm already here. But next,
Sexual chocolate.
who's the second?
He's a broke ass sexual chocolate.
I mean, I met a lot of cool people over the years, but one of the coolest things for me, so like I first came to Tampa and I was at Scores.
Yeah.
So taking it back a little bit, middle school, you remember when you had all the posters? Well, maybe you guys didn't have posters of boy bands all over the place, but I had Good Charlotte posters
Yeah, Chris
all
did.
over my room, right?
Yeah.
So like Benji Madden with all his knuckles and shit there, like I knew those knuckles.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting in Scores one night and we're at a table. I get pulled into a VIP section and we're sitting there and I'm like, kind of looking at the guy. I'm like, he looks so familiar. And then I look down at his hands and I see the tattoos. I'm like, are you you?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to go now because I'm fangirling and I can't drink with you guys. So,
Wow.
so that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like that was like the first celebrity I ever met.
Yeah, I was gonna say, so like and from personal socials, right? Seen some more famous people than not just been hanging out and stuff. Like, what's it like when you encounter some of those people? Because like, could you imagine being in that role, right? And then all of a sudden, just like, this isn't factual. I'm just shitting a name here. Like Tom Brady walked through the door. You're just like, damn. That's Tom Brady. You know what I mean? And you get the chance
Keep cool,
a lot of
keep
times.
cool, keep cool, keep cool.
Yeah, keep cool. Like, what is that?
Can I dance?
Like? Yeah. Listen, for you, it's only 1,000 a song. It's all good. Like,
I wish it was 1,000 a song. It's not quite. Listen, those numbers got thrown out real quick, but it's not always like that.
yeah.
So what's a
Ever
typical
since
night?
COVID, now actually, it's we haven't slowed down in Tampa at all. So
Really?
the numbers from summer last year or the year before COVID compared to last year, like quadrupled. So like nobody went anywhere. And it still hasn't slowed down.
Wow. That's kind of wild, especially going through the whole COVID environment and stuff.
I mean, people were,
we
they were
stayed-
separated.
So our doors were shut, was it 92 days for physical people come in? But because at my club, we stream online. So they were we were still going during COVID.
That's cool.
So we were able to, before they did that, it was a couple weeks before they like implemented that. So we were able to have like 6 girls or something. They would reserve their spots for the nights and they would go and have 4 or 5 cameras that we had streaming in different areas, like for dancing. And man, like it just, a lot of people had a lot of Corona parties where they were just tuned in on it. Like
That's cool though, man. I'm
not
happy.
gonna
I'm
lie.
happy people do that because that way you guys don't lose money, the company don't, and everybody can continue to work during a crisis
I'm
situation.
not gonna lie, dude. That's pretty wild. I can't. It's hard for me to grasp that concept because it's like, don't get it twisted. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and act like a prude. When I was in college, and from the time I was 18 till I was about 22 or 23, like, your boy loved strip clubs. There was no doubt about it. Like, I loved it.
niggas.
Yeah, and it was a great time. You know what I'm saying? And to me, not only was it the environment, but also like it creates like just a fun like party feel. You know what I mean?
yeah, it's not always about disgusted, perverted shit. Like I love going to strip clubs. I find myself hanging out in nothing but strip clubs. Like,
Yeah. It's like a vibe. It's a whole different vibe. That's one thing I enjoyed back in the. Obviously, I don't really go very often now. It's not something that I'm gonna do very often anymore. But at the same time, like I remember going several times. Like me and you went a couple times, and we sat there for like 6 hours. And we're just having a great time, just talking to people and doing this and just bullshitting, having drinks, and it was great.
I feel like a strip club atmosphere is one that's welcoming to men and women.
Yeah.
Because nobody's there. Everyone's there to socialize. No, a woman's going to see you and she's going to act on what she sees.
Yeah.
She's going to.
some girls, it gets wonky with, you gotta be careful because some girls are in there just to please their boyfriends, but are just sitting there waiting for him to smile. And then their night's ruined. So
Really?
the female aspect of them coming in, it can go either way. They're either the most supportive or, don't go dance in front of that guy because that girl might sneak you from behind or him. Like,
Okay, so it can turn left real fast.
yeah.
So that actually, I'm glad you brought that up, right? So, these are questions, right, from Ash.
Let's go.
So yeah, it was.
Love her.
I know she had.
Shout out Ash.
So, number one, obviously, we went over how you get started. Have you ever been in a long-term relationship while stripping? If so, how do you engage in intimacy at home while you've spent all day kind of like faking it for work?
Toxic.
Very toxic.
Well, I mean, for me, I can't speak for other girls. I know girls that are married. I'm not really sure about their dynamics. For me,
Yeah.
hasn't been as lucky. But, you know, that's also my own shit too. Like, I add to my toxicity. I don't make good decisions with who I've brought into my life in that particular aspect. But
Yeah. We interrupt this podcast to bring you Sunterra Solar Solutions, a leading edge solar company committed to making sure they provide a phenomenal experience to its customers. Going solar was one of the best decisions that I ever made. Not only did they provide me a no hassle experience, it didn't feel like a sales experience. It felt like an amazing person to person having a conversation on whether solar was going to be right for me. I was fortunate enough to not only lower my monthly energy cost, but they gave me an option to be able to create a stabilized monthly bill that I could prepare around. I qualified for a new customer incentive that put cash in my hand after installation, as well as I qualified for a tax credit at the end of that same year after I had it installed. All in all, not only was it the best decision I ever made, I lowered my monthly energy costs, I stabilized my bill, I put a ton of cash in hand. It felt like I got paid to go solar. And my most favorite part that I haven't even mentioned, it eliminated my exposure to future increasing rates from the utility companies. So if you think going solar is the right thing for you, by all means, hit us up in our DMs. We can connect you with a sales associate today. And now back to the episode. I remember because when I first messaged you and we talked on the phone that day, you had said something to me because Ash was about it. The moment that I said, hey, I actually been thinking because we're on Instagram together, whatever, and I see some of your posts and I'm like, God, man, you always look like you're on vacation. Always look like you're fucking going places and you're like, you live this extraordinary life, right? And it seems so fucking fun. And I'm like, Ash, I'm just going to show you this right now. But she was a friend of mine from high school and stuff. I said, this is what she does. And, I think she was fucking cool to hang out with. She was very nice, always enjoyable. But I would love to have her on the pod immediately. She's like, I have like 1,000 questions. And she's like, absolutely, let's do this. But when we were in the car and we were talking, you said that was one statement that you said that I won't forget. You said it is hard when you spend 6 to 8 hours practicing fake intimacy is the term I'll use. You can use, something different. But then you come home, say you have a partner that gets upset about it because you're like, you're not really in the mood.
yeah.
And you're like, yeah, but you don't understand. See, they paid me $1,000 to do that. What did you get for it?
You didn't even do the dishes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I'm in there slamming dishes like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
This
motherfucker.
turn you on.
Yeah.
Does this turn you on? That's fucking priceless. Yeah, dude. Okay, so have you encountered that situation a lot, or have you kind of steered away?
Not recently, no.
Yeah.
Nope, steered away from that. I'm just kind of out here single pringling it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's also like I'm a little bit worried about my decisions, so I don't want to bring another repeat of something in because I guess I don't really know what I'm looking for either.
You're still,
and it does take a certain person. Like if you're gonna be with somebody, I mean, being with women who are bartenders and like watching them flirt for their tips, that can be hard on guys too. Like I've heard that plenty of times. But knowing that your girl has literally got her vagina in some guy's face,
yeah,
like with thousands and thousands of dollars that could take her away from all this.
yeah.
I think that's a little bit more dramatic. As a man, you have to understand that. Like,
Yeah.
if you're with me, you're with me. If you're not, you're not.
There's got to be a certain trust in there.
It's not
Yeah.
even, it's
lot
not even
of
trust. That's your job. At the end of the day,
Yeah.
what you do in order to provide for you is what you do in order to provide
Yeah.
I
for
think
you.
it's
But
an ego problem.
Yeah, that takes a lot of
It's a confidence
self-confidence.
problem,
Yeah.
Yeah, you definitely have to have some kind of confidence or security in yourself and the trust in the person. Like, I'm a very flirtatious person. Listen, I'm going to get free drinks off this fucking bar because I'm going to flirt with that bartender. Like,
Yeah.
shut up and reap the benefits.
Yeah.
But I understand that's. I get it.
Yeah. It's not everybody's cup of tea, but and I get where you're coming from. Like me personally, I could never do it. Not because I don't have the self-confidence. Like I'd be okay in the self-confidence realm. It's just literally the fact that I would never want to go into the club and then see a girl who I say is my partner grinding with other people. But at the same time, this is a personal preference.
I believe that you're
You
looking
know?
at it like it's a possession. At the end of the day, that person has their own life, their own journey that started before you got there. I'm not possessing that person. I'm just saying at the end of the day, I want you to enjoy life the way in which you do
Yeah,
it.
no, you're right. It's not it for me. It's not a possession, but it's the idea of it. It's like no, because you start thinking in your head like that's mine, right? I get, yeah, I get what you're coming
But
from.
it's
Yeah,
coming
and-
back.
That makes
to you.
sense.
That's the only thing I can ever ask is that you come back. It's not that you're gonna go out and have your own experience, but you have to come back wanting me as well.
Right.
Don't come back and you just had a crazy night. And I don't even get a hug or anything like that. It's more so about A, personal hygiene.
Yeah.
B, making sure I still feel like I'm your king. At the end of the day, you have no control over what that person does with their life and what they do outside of it. I just feel like if you are having a relationship with someone that's an exotic dancer, it has to be an open relationship because you have to be okay with her taking it wherever it's going to go because that's how she pays her bills. And vice versa. If it's good for you, it has to be good for me.
Yeah.
It can't be one-sided. So when you, I'm directing this towards Jamie. When you were in a relationship, did you date clients or did you just date outside?
The boyfriends I had were outside. But they would have big problems because I would have customers, they're big money customers that would really like, at a drop of a dime, like, I got to go to work. Like, this guy's there, got to go. And it's like, well, we're going to the movies. Well, I'm going to pay rent. So, but I get it. It's like, oh, well, you just worked the night before, and when are we going to have time? And so then I'll stop working a whole bunch and like make that time to cater to that. And that's kind of where it goes wrong. Because then it's like when I do go to work, it'll be like an argument. It's just really safer for myself to not engage in any of that.
So now, obviously, like you said, you're more kind of self-focused as well. Financially focused, like that, taking care of you and figuring out what you want.
I can relate to that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
No, I feel you on that. I think that's, to be honest, it takes a lot of emotional maturity to do that. Because in today's world, I think a lot of people have issues with just being alone. You know what I mean? And when you don't have the self-confidence to be alone in that sense, you rush into negative relationships, things that you really shouldn't be involved with in the first place, and just people that aren't a good match and things like that causes more issues. And then you add in a jealousy that can grow from being in that line of work. That's like, you're right, that's toxic as fuck.
Oh, yeah. Well, it gets toxic because, I mean, in my particular case, like the men would go to other strip clubs and then start like cheating on me with other strippers and be like, well, you're out here doing this with these guys. It's like, I'm not doing, what are you talking about? I'm not doing what you're doing. Like, you're going to pay some girl to fuck her. Like, what are you doing?
Wow.
Yeah. Scumbag.
That's wild, dude.
What?
That's
how
wild.
how does this, what?
So have you ever been in a situation where you felt unsafe at work? And I think we literally talked about it before we came in here. Like the situation that happened over at Mons Venus. Right? Have you ever been in a situation like that?
Not quite to that extent, but there's been a couple of situations where we've had to lock the building up because there was shots fired outside. Fights can break out pretty bad. And then I don't know, sometimes going in the room with guys that are super drunk and aggressive, like you really got to kind of stop and assess, like, am I going to be able to sit here? So like we have like champagne rooms for half hour to an hour increments, like, or longer. You have to really assess, like, am I comfortable being in this room with this person for this long? And I mean, we have people outside the rooms, but they're not like right there. Like,
yeah.
So, I mean, you really do got to kind of self-security and like kind of watch, like, am I going to be able to handle this? Am I going to be able to get myself out of this situation? And drugging drinks, like that's a big one. That's a big one. Ketamine is a big thing right now out in Tampa, and it's
That's
You can't even
special
taste
K.
it? Have you ever been drugged?
yeah,
Can you taste it?
Really?
not a clue.
No.
I have no fucking idea.
You black out, right?
Oh God! And then wake up
Special
and
case. Special dog.
You black out, right? Oh God.
like you're having a really good time, and then you're somewhere you have no idea where you are, and you're missing half your shit. Like,
Yeah. Been there.
How do I get home?
Did it on purpose.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Chris, you did that on purpose.
What is this? A special character?
So, I mean, but here's the thing. Like, so they say, like, hey, it's supposed to be like this super euphoric thing, but like one dust particle, too goddamn many, and like that's it. So,
Yeah. Wow, that's wild. So, like, have you ever like second guessed like going back after an incident like that?
no,
Not really.
no.
I feel like it's just your natural.
At that point, you
environment
really
at
don't
this-
know who did it and what happened. You
Yeah.
know? You're like, I don't.
You got
know.
ideas, but I mean, I'm also in a city that's kind of, it's a party city. So, I mean,
Yeah.
this is not, the date rape shit is a real thing up there.
Yeah.
So, if I'm going to be scared to go to work, then I've got to be scared to go to every other fucking bar there.
Yeah.
Because it's not, they don't just discriminate in the strip clubs. Like, it's
it's
everywhere.
You ever had a problem with
crazy.
someone like stalking, like a client that would, freak you out because he kept going and then made you feel uncomfortable, and then you kept seeing him all sorts of places and shit like that?
I've not had that. I was just blowing up on the text messages a lot, and then I would block them, and they find other ways to text me, and so that's a little weird. But the stalking, I'm pretty good about like not being followed home. Like it people have been followed home. It does happen. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. It's very self-security type of ordeal. Like if you're coming home and there's a car that's been following you the whole way, hit an extra lap around, make sure that car will fucking leave. Like
I think that this goes out to the public. Like, dancing is not just, it's not the girls put their lives at stake due to the fact of other sick individuals coming in, because you got to let everybody in. You can't pick which one who's sick. He's a stalker. He likes to date rape. He likes, they put their lives up there, at certain times. Dude,
Yeah. That's a unique perspective.
Yeah.
I got a question, and the question is really like, as a dancer, do you have a type? Like everybody, as a guy, you walk in, and I've been
Money.
there several times with Mike, and he'll be like, "Nah, I'm good with that one, but I like this type of person." You, on the other hand, are you just going to where it's going to be beneficial, or do you have an actual type of person that you like to go after?
oh, I mean, well, obviously, if they're more attractive, I'm absolutely on my way over there. Like,
Okay.
check me out. Absolutely.
This is gonna work out for both of us.
Yeah.
If they look a little greasy and creepy, I'm not going to be the first to approach. But if like they're like, oh, would you like a drink? Opens the wallet and there's a shit ton of hundreds. Why, yes. Would you like a dance?
Yeah.
So,
It's going to work out.
well, there are some guys. It's like absolutely not. Nope, absolutely not. So
I mean, you got to draw the line somewhere. So, what does that guy look like? That's an absolutely not. That's what I mean by what's the I'm not doing it. It's not enough money.
In other words, he's trying to see which type is.
what's your preference? I feel like everybody has their own preference, and as you go in, you have to grab. I see you. They go towards everybody. You just scatter. So
if they look super greasy and gross, or they're wearing the same thing that you've seen them in the last 2 nights they were in, like won't go there. The smell. I can smell them talking to them, I can't. Like I just can't put myself in a room like.
Yeah. It's nasty.
And like it is,
Yeah.
and sometimes it's like there's religious things with it, so it's like you can't say anything about it because that's their culture and shit like that. So it's like
Yeah.
no.
The religious thing. So you have like people that will go in there, pay money for dances and stuff, but
They don't shower or wear deodorant and stuff. Well, they shower. I'm sure
okay.
they shower. That's quite a reach to assume they don't.
isn't
but
that a stereotype of Matthew McConaughey? He doesn't.
he just uses water.
He just uses water.
He says the women in my life love my fragrance, my natural odor. They love that. So he doesn't. He
well,
just uses
fucking
water.
Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Like,
I mean,
what?
like
What?
I got more money than Jesus
He
himself.
did
so,
the Lincoln commercials. What a stud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's
that.
Love that guy.
So, one more question. I remember this one. So, have you ever? What's the other side of that? Like, have you ever been approached by a customer that has been, wanting more than dances, wanting to actually, engage intimately, and then like offer pay? Like, what is that environment like? How do you handle that?
Well, you can't really talk about that because that is solicitation and prostitution
Gotcha,
in the
gotcha.
building.
This is not Nevada, so you can't really.
It's not Nevada.
You can't open that up.
Yes, I've been approached with it quite a few times actually. Never. No, not with like randoms in the club that I just meet. Like the people that I do go with and get paid to go hang out with. Like I've known them all for years, and
Yeah.
I don't know. It's
just a unique type of
it's
situation.
a finicky thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you ever what was that like the first time it ever happened? Did you ever like second guess it, or were you kind of like, we'll go hang out, see what happens? It's basically like paying to hang out with somebody.
Yeah.
For a long period of time.
Taking bitches to the Hard Rock. Like that's where we go. Yeah, a lot of it's let's just see what fucking happens. Like
I feel you.
I don't think this is gonna be weird.
I never even thought about that. They just directly leave the strip club and go right to the Hard Rock because the Hard Rock is always open. So
Yeah.
why not? That sounds like a perfect
that's
way
true.
to
You
sum
keep
up the
drinking
night.
there.
Have you ever gotten criticized by
my God, every
outside people?
Every
Just
day.
Every day?
Every day.
What do you hear the most?
That I don't like myself. Yeah, that's one I get a lot. Is I have no respect for myself, but I'm like, oh, I don't think that's very true. I take myself. We go a lot of good places. I've got solid friendship foundations. Like make great money. Like for somebody at 32 years old, like statistically, I've got more money in the bank than somebody should right now. And like that's not trying to big dick or anything like that, but I'm pretty smart about it. So I mean, I like myself enough to make good decisions, to have myself set up and be smart. Granted, could I have been smarter younger? Yes, but trial and error.
I feel you.
Now, have you tried different things like, porn or OnlyFans or anything like that?
No.
You just
No, never done porn. I don't know. That doesn't appeal to me at all.
at all?
At all.
Like so it's more.
Well,
so,
it's more like I would sound like an idiot. Like when like when you hear yourself talk back, like I'm probably gonna listen to this and be like, but like, so now imagine and like, oh, get off me. So
I've tried porn once.
what amateur?
did you get paid or is this just
No,
like
man, I was just saying, let's
fuck some
take
girl
this
on
video.
camera?
Yeah. Hey, let's do this.
This weird angle.
Oh my god.
So Chris is
I swear you look great. You look great
shout
right
out
now.
to Little Tony.
Fantastic.
He doing amateur porn.
Yeah.
Let me know something about you,
There's
Chris.
a Christian Bale from American Psycho just flexing in the camera.
Hold on.
That's
Yeah,
wild,
check that
man.
out.
So
And then no OnlyFans. And honestly, I wish I had the patience to do the online presence thing. Like, I'd probably make a lot more money with that. But I fuck off too much and be like, well, let me be on the phone. Like,
yeah.
so really that's just like lack of work ethic in that particular area.
Yeah.
Because I'm not taking full advantage. But I don't know. Who knows? Maybe
Yeah.
one day.
So now doing this role, has it changed the way that you view the world and the way that you view people based upon your experiences?
I don't know if I would say change. I feel like if you remember me from school, like I've always been on, like nobody questions my feelings about things. Like I've always spoke my mind and like my nickname in high school was Crazy Jamie. Like I was assertive. So gotten wiser, but it hasn't changed me. I think it's just made me more knowledgeable and now I can talk more shit with a lot more backing behind it.
Yeah. That's very cool. So do you see this as like, how much longer do you plan on doing this type of career? Is this something?
Listen, until this shit falls, like I'm going to school to do, like I've got backups. Like it's not like I'm not prepared to hag it out, I guess.
Yeah.
But I make too much money and I have a lot of fun doing it. Like there are some girls like it burns them out. You can get burnt out real quick.
Yeah.
So quick. And it is sad to watch it happen. Like you can see it wear down girls. But I don't know. I've always loved it. So
Yeah.
I mean, until I age out. Because I also, like, so I waitress at the same club, too. So I dance in a waitress. So I've got little security there
Yeah.
with if anything ever happens, as far as, like, I just start looking 43 overnight.
I would rock that shit and put all that shit in the savings account and have a retirement plan.
Yeah.
What we're doing, baby.
All the way there.
There you
all
go.
the way to the door.
And got Social Security coming in. Like,
Yeah.
holler at me
That's what I
and
would
when
do.
we're 80.
Yeah.
I mean,
What-
let's get real. It's phenomenal money. You know, it is phenomenal money.
It's phenomenal money, but it's as long as you're smart with it. Like,
Yeah.
I've been doing this since I was 18, so all those years.
That's
And you got
14
all that
years.
experience. You got, you know.
And I should have way more saved up. Way more saved up. But, you know,
I mean,
that
at 18,
savings things kind of started
Yeah, what's the most you ever made and blown in a single night?
blown in a night or made in a night.
Both.
20,000.
Wait, blown or made?
Made.
Made. God damn. Fuck.
I'm just thinking that, you know.
My
just,
God.
male
I
stripper
think
don't
I can
sound
beat
bad.
chips.
Yeah.
I can beat chips now. I think I got it. I think I can swing on a pole.
Yeah. Swing that dick, baby.
Yeah. I'm gonna go
Listen,
swing that
no.
dick.
Let me tell you something. God's honest truth. Females are way more aggressive towards male strippers than males are to female strippers. Like,
Yeah.
those guys come out of there scratched up, abused. They're, oh my God, I feel bad for male
I can
strippers.
take it.
Women are
Glad you can-
wild.
I'll take it.
I can.
For a little bit of money.
So what's the most you've blown in a night?
Probably 20.
What were you doing?
All
All of it.
I mean, you're in the
Anything I
party
wanted
city.
to do?
You're in the party city, so it goes without saying. I
Yeah.
want to go back to when she said the Super Bowl was crazy.
Yeah.
What made the Super Bowl different from any other night outside of the Bucks winning it all? What made it just like bananas?
The amount of people, the hypeness from like the two different teams, the money that was in town to watch the Super Bowl, like it was wild. It was a movie. It felt like a movie. Like we literally turned the weekend away because he had like an entourage of like 100 people, and they're like, no, like
What?
we're way at capacity already. Like you can come in, but they can hang out in the
Wow.
parking lot. So
You turned away the weekend. Wow, that's wild.
I mean, yeah,
I
Not-
didn't.
Not you.
They
yeah,
did.
They did.
I mean,
I was pissed when I heard that. I was like, excuse me?
Would you feel comfortable saying like the coolest person you've ever met? Not necessarily dance for or say
Well, she said the dude with the piercings on me with the tattoos on his
Yeah.
hand.
From Good Charlotte.
Yeah, from Good Charlotte. What
that was the coolest
Yeah,
person
yeah.
she's ever met.
Okay, yeah, valid. I'm just and it's funny.
I wouldn't
because,
say
like,
coolest person I met, coolest scenario of the person I met.
Yeah,
But it's hard to say coolest person I met.
yeah.
This has been a lot.
I mean, you're talking about it on a nightly basis. You're meeting somebody that
Yeah.
just wants your attention. So that most people don't have that type of experience.
Yeah.
And where does it go from there? Like, it may seem genuine, and then it goes into a different direction. You never know when you're out there. People are drinking. They're always, partaking in different types of drugs and so on and so forth. What's the wildest thing that happened backstage? Because I know you just said women go crazy. What's the craziest things that happen back there?
Oh, I mean, stripper fights are always good. Stripper fights are always good. Those are good. I don't know. There's really nothing too wild going on in the dressing room other than like pure chaos of like 85 women trying to get all their shit together and accusing each other of stealing their shit because
Holy
everybody's
shit.
all drunk. But
You'll have that many girls in a dressing room?
on a Friday night, Friday,
Wow.
Saturday night, yeah.
85.
Yeah.
Good God.
I know. Oh my
Capacity is
god.
like 172.
Oh wow.
You guys you guys have your own separate like dressing spots.
Yeah, so there's like a dressing room in the back, then there's the front of the house, or the stages, our little bar. So we don't serve alcohol there, so because it's full nude in Hillsborough County, you can have nudity with liquor licensing, but there's always,
All right.
little things you can do. And then we have the spaceship upstairs, so like you go down a little hallway and it's upstairs, and then there's another little area for the lap dance area. So I mean, there's little nooks and crannies in there, but the dressing room, fucking smallest room ever.
I've never been to a strip club.
What?
Yeah,
Never.
I did a moment of silence for you. Just
Yeah,
for that.
I've never been. The moment,
I'm gonna get to that, like-
the closest I've been was I went to Emerald City on the opposite side,
Oh, the bar?
the bar.
You went to the bar.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah, and they'll do dances.
trying to figure
over
out
there.
why.
I just never really had, I never really was like, I mean, if I was invited, I mean, I'd go today, but I just never
Well,
really
come
had,
on up. Let's go. Let's fucking
I
go.
just never,
You will
never
realize it's really not what you
Man, I
think it
had
is.
dope to do, man. I can't be going around, hang around the strip club. I had dope to do.
Yeah,
That's
that
wild,
was
dude.
more important.
I mean,
It
honestly,
was.
you were at Emerald City. Were you selling dope there?
No, I was getting drunk. I was getting drunk.
Dude, that's crazy.
So it's been 14 years of you doing this.
14.
That feels. I mean, that's a career at this particular junction. Like when you got in, did you think like, oh, this is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life, or until the
I
wheels
don't think
fall
I
off?
really had a plan. I just kind of knew like I was on my own and I had to get my phone and rent paid. Because now I had rent. I moved out.
Yeah.
So I didn't really, some girl said to me, she's like, don't make a career out of this. You'll get stuck. And it was like, I don't really look at it as being stuck. I mean, I think about that a lot when I think about how long I've been there. Like, don't think I'm like, I'm a human being too. I'll still get down on myself. Like, yo, what the fuck am I doing? And then it's like, well, what the fuck would I be doing? Would I just like, I dropped out of school. Like, I wouldn't be able to pay for my school now. Like, I would be paycheck to paycheck on some shit. I'd probably still be in Inglewood. Like,
Yeah.
not that that's bad. Love Inglewood. Honestly, I want to go home so bad, but there's just no fucking money there.
Yeah.
So-
That's very true. It's usually a lot of just retired people.
Yeah, like my friends are all there. Like, I want to go home. The beach is there.
Yeah.
The beach to get from my house to the beach, 45 minutes. And living in Inglewood, like,
It's like
5 minutes
ride
from
my bike.
anywhere.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we ride our bike
Yeah.
over there. Yeah.
So,
And it was like, and then the environment we had in high school, that was a very beach environment too. Everybody
Everybody's
wore
wearing flip-flops.
Everybody wore flip flops, swim trunks, and you know what I mean.
skip school to go to the beach.
Yeah, like it was a very beach town environment. over
Skateboard, dude. That's it,
there. Yeah,
At
dude.
the Twisty Treat.
Yeah.
Skateboarding at the Twisty Treat.
Yeah, that was me. I used to hit that force there. There's a force there, right there, dude.
You hear Chris getting into skateboarding.
Yeah, he definitely had the little skateboard. Kid Rock.
But see,
finish.
growing up like that, I didn't really have any ambition to really be anything. I wasn't like, hey man, I'm looking forward to be a firefighter. I'm looking forward. I didn't really have any ambition. So when it was time to, hey man, you got to step up and be something. I had. Well, I guess I'm just gonna join the rest of the crowd and do dope.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm going to be a thief.
Yeah, I'm a rob still. Like, I really had no ambition of being anything other than what it was I liked doing.
Yeah. Did you ever have any issues or run-ins with anything like that during the time that you were working? Like, Chris got really bad into the environment that we can get into, and Inglewood has a big issue with that, with kids coming up and getting involved and doing drugs and things like that. Did you ever have any run-ins or anything like that?
I mean, so I myself have never like fall into the addiction and like gotten myself like, ugh, I need to fuck shit up to get more of this drug. I mean, I've definitely done my drugs. Like, I'm an upper girl, no opioids for this thing. Like,
Yeah.
Molly, ecstasy, cocaine, we're a good time. But sometimes I think, the cocaine could get a little heavy, but whatever.
I feel you. Okay. Damn. That's wild, dude. That's such a unique lifestyle. Because I sit here and think about it, and I'm like, God, what's the coolest vacation you've ever taken? Because obviously, like you said, you've come across tons of money in one night, and
Honestly, me and Vicky's trip to Costa Rica.
yeah,
Yeah,
Man,
just
that
me and
must
my
be
best
sweet.
friend. Just me and my best friend, raggedy ass. I want to call it a Toyota Corolla, but it was like an off-brand Toyota Corolla with like donut tires going up these janky ass roads in Costa Rica. That was cool as shit. Just the two of us. So,
What other parts of the world have you been to?
Central America, obviously El Salvador, Costa Rica, a lot of islands. I haven't been to Europe yet. We're
Really?
getting there.
Wow.
Africa's in the planning right now.
Yeah,
Your girl's gonna hike Mount Kilimanjaro.
dude, that's wild.
Good
man.
luck.
Bro, I'm watching it. Oh, this is gonna be great.
That's hot. You know?
Dude, that's insane. It's amazing that this thing that you found that you do can make you a ton of cash, but at the same time you enjoy it. You know what I mean? And then it gives you the luxuries to be able to plan a trip to Africa, right? Like, I'll tell you what, whenever you do go to Europe, you need to go to London. So I went to London with Ash. We were there for a week. That place was insane. But it was so cool because like the bar environment there was so unique. Like everything they have is very different from what we have. So they have like heavy lagers and they have big time beers or ciders. They do ciders there too. But everything tastes better. And everything's like, it's in the environment in a bar is way better from my experience. A lot of times whenever I've gone into bars, I'm a big guy. And then rewind like probably 8 years ago, right? I was a very in shape big guy. You know what I mean? So a lot of times partying here, what happens? Testosterone gets flying and people just start shit for no reason. They're like, fuck that guy because he's the biggest guy here. Over there, everybody was just, if there was a problem, it's just, hey, dude, I'll buy you a beer. Just have a good time, man.
Oh, I love that.
And it was just, everybody was about having fun. And it was just such a unique environment. That's a place you definitely have to check out at some point.
Absolutely. It's on the list.
I'm just thinking about traveling. When you think about traveling, you went from, Inglewood all the way up to Tampa. Why'd you stop? Why didn't you go anywhere else? I mean, Tampa's amazing. You're making a lot of money, but at the end of the day, what you do, you can do anywhere.
Yeah. Well, a lot of that is to stay close to home. Like my family is still here. Like my mom, my sister, and at the time my father was still alive, so that he was here. So I didn't want to leave, but like there's a network that like you kind of girls all know each other, so you kind of read each other's Instagrams and you can kind of see like the money. It's all kind of the same wherever you go. Like you have your shitty nights and you have your really good nights. So like in Vegas, like I know girls out there that are amazing pole dancers, hot as shit, and they'll still walk away with bullshit money on certain nights if it's slow enough. Or like some guys, some nights are not into blondes. Like it really is a thing. Like there's a night where like blondes are the only thing making money, or girls with brown hair are the only thing making money, or Spanish girls are the only ones making money. It's really weird when that happens, but it ranges. So I thought about going out of state dancing, but I do really well here, so I don't really see the need to.
Yeah.
Right.
And also, like, it's hard. It is hard. When I transitioned to Tampa, I hated Tampa when I first went there. Like, everything was just wrong. Like, the roads, I had no idea where I was. And, like, we didn't have GPS like we did now. Like, I had to go buy a TomTom to get myself around Tampa, which is already confusing as shit and always under construction.
Yeah.
So, like, for me, it's also, like, I don't need to go and deal with all that anxiety of, like, trying to figure out a new place. Also, like, if I do get followed home, like, I'm nowhere near anybody who can help me. I'm nowhere near anybody who knows me or who would be willing to help me because I'm probably just some weird stripper that they're weirded out by. So,
yeah, that's a good thing. Have you ever been to Vegas?
Love Vegas. That's my city, baby.
Yeah.
Like, I'm pretty sure you travel. You had to travel. And you had to have those. No matter where you go, the strip club is just a party. That's all it is. It's just a party where everyone is excited to be there. They are as well as you are. If you see a stripper that's really not happy to be there, they just won't come out. They just stay back there the whole time. So it's one of those things like it's a party. And why not party everywhere? Why would you just limit to one spot? So when you say Vegas, I was like, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it where people are traveling to spend money. Tampa is a place is now up and coming and it's blossoming.
It really is. Oh man, it's incredible what they're doing up there. I love that city.
I think it's just got rated number 2. You got Riverwalk. You have all these things that are attracting people, and obviously with them winning,
what they just did in Channel Side is crazy.
I didn't even see what they did in Channel Side.
Oh, it's built up real nice. Next time you go down there, just take it in.
To me, I'm always in Tampa, but I'm always you got a destination. In Tampa, you don't want to just wander around.
Yeah, you don't fuck around out there. That traffic is no joke.
It's no fun. You get stuck on the highways, and you just like, you know what? If I'm not really going there for a purpose, I don't want to do it. And everybody goes to the same party scenes. It'd be an E-boy or you're hitting the script. So everyone knows what places you want to go to, what places are popping, what places aren't popping. You have little holes in the walls and so on and so forth where it really goes down and you didn't know about. But I feel like that's everywhere. Instead of just staying in Tampa where you know everybody, I feel like you only have a certain window of time. If you're an exotic dancer, you got 20 years. Let's just say that. You got 20 years. In 20 years, I spent 14 in these two places. For the next 6, I want to go explore and I want to go see things that I normally wouldn't see and do things I normally wouldn't do. Because after that, then I have to figure out what's next in life. What's the next transition? Whether it be with somebody, that's to me, I feel like this is a real thought. Do you ever think that you're going to be with somebody that's just loaded, one of your normal clientels that eventually you ride off into the sunset with?
It's a nice thought. Who doesn't have that fucking thought? What a nice thought that is. What a nice thought. But
Yes.
I mean, even if that comes with shit, like even if you do ride off into the sunset with some rich guy, like you're going to have to deal with whatever bullshit. Like if you still met him in the club, like chances are like you're going to have to still deal with degenerate shit and swallow a lot that you may or may not be comfortable with. So if you're going to ride off into the sunset, you better be prepared to keep that sunset energy. I'm guessing.
So you be prepared to share. At the end of the day, so do you have a problem with sharing?
No. I do not believe in monogamy at all. I think that's just because of like my own personal experiences with it. Like I'd rather not put this trust into this person that they're not going to be out here
enjoying life.
Yeah. Like I don't want to be lied to. For me, it's just don't lie to me about what you do. Because if you lie to me about what you do, then you don't respect me. And if you don't respect me, then the fuck are we even doing?
But your job is to lie to people, not necessarily to make them feel better about themselves. Like, oh my God, you look sexy, knowing that person hasn't heard.
I don't know. I don't pay me $40 to dance for you. I don't think that's a lie. $500 for a half. I don't think that's a lie.
No, I'm just saying, like, when you're enticing the guy, you may not think that guy is really sexy. Like you just said, the guy with $100 bills, like, oh yeah, definitely. Do you want to dance? He may not have seen him attractive, but you're gonna make him feel like it's just you and him in the room. So your job is to create a fantasy that otherwise he wouldn't have that type of experience. So that's why I say your job is to lie. So if your job is to give a fantasy, and his job, if he's giving you a fantasy of what.
Why is my boyfriend giving me a fantasy for free though? I'm getting paid to give you a fantasy. My boyfriends are giving me the fantasy for free.
You got a good point.
No, baby, I love you. It's just you.
I like that.
Do you need a ride to work?
So
my girlfriend gets off in a few minutes.
Wow.
That makes sense.
So piggybacking what you said earlier, like you said you've actually been in situations where you've been with someone, but all of a sudden, like you have a specific client that wants to hang out with you and you have to go to work at that point in time, right? So do you legitimately almost build like what other people I would call like a book of business? A real estate agent says, I have a book of business. You build a book of business when clients come in, or it is just kind of whatever happens kind of thing? Do you understand what I'm asking?
No.
Okay. So do you have like over time you meet some people come in repeatedly?
Yes.
And you basically develop repeat customers that specifically look for you.
Yes.
Right? So over a long period of time, you actually generate a larger clientele that's like, hey, I'm just here. I'm just here for Jamie.
Yeah.
The end.
Yes, I do have that.
Yeah. Did you find it pretty easy to build that type of clientele, or did that take like a long time?
Probably
a little bit of both. Yeah.
Bit
Over time, like, I mean, there's people that I've known since the day I went to Tampa in 2010, like, and I'll still see them. So, and then there's people that I'll just meet that are coming back for me recently. So it's an always building thing. And, they come and they go. Like I had one guy, the first guy, actually the night that I came up here made the $3,000. He consistently for 10 years. And, he found some stripper that wanted to have a baby with him, and I haven't seen him since. So,
wow.
So she hit the jackpot. Good on her.
Would you have had his baby?
Not his baby. No, absolutely not. He was weird.
No, absolutely
He was fucking weird.
That's fucking awesome. Oh, that's fantastic.
I do miss him though.
It's weird as
If you're
hell.
listening, I love you.
Tonight I'm a man in action.
Yeah.
No, I didn't know actually. Yeah, the last thing that we said to each other, because I found out that he was dating her, and I was like, oh shit. Oh, let's just see. Let's just see how like committed he is to this.
Yeah.
Fucking sent me back. I was like, oh, you want to catch some dinner? And he was like, I don't think that's gonna be possible, as now I'm in love.
Okay.
All right.
Do
But
your
you just
thing.
said you don't believe in monogamy, so it's
No,
just
him. That's what he said to me.
I'm just saying, but after a while, you realize he's gonna come right back. It's not like people
Oh
are
no,
creatures of
he's
habit.
weird. He's been trying to get. He wanted me to do.
I was gonna say
The girl is getting paid. Like she is sitting pretty forever now, and with the baby, like. But this is just one of those. I could not do that. You're just a little bit too weird for me.
I mean, you're right next to. I love the make of where you guys are located. You're right next to the pro stadium.
Yeah.
So you see all the players, like
All the players, all the concert people, like.
Yeah, so I'm saying, like, at any given point, you can build a relationship, like Brooke was just telling you about that clientele list, where these are high-end guys. And when you have that type of experience, they're used to the best experiences.
Yeah.
So having those guys along the run, you never, like, once, like, I want to see where this can go with that person. You never dated a celebrity or a professional football player?
I did.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah, I dated a baseball player for quite a while.
For the Rays or?
Yankees.
Okay.
that makes sense.
So.
The Yankee Stadium is almost across the
But
street.
that was he still was just a Tampa girl for him. Like, if you're gonna date those guys, you gotta understand what comes with them. Like, I'm not the only one.
Yeah.
These guys are not just one girl kind of guys.
I was gonna say that's like the I don't know if you ever saw it. They did a documentary on Tiger Woods when he went through his big thing. He had, God, there was a point in at one point in the documentary he had I think it was like 12 girls like flown in at some point. Yeah. Just like his preference and stuff. And he had girls at different parts of the world, dude.
Damn.
Yeah, man.
He had a list.
Yeah.
He had a nice little list
That man
on
had
it.
a list.
Have you ever been part of the list?
No, not
No?
Tiger's list. No.
No. I'm just saying, like, being flown in.
I wish.
I've been flown in.
And what was that like?
times. Great time.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? Spending other people's money? And like just riding their coattail, like they just let you in. Like, oh, do you need security to walk you to the bathroom? Why, yes, I do.
Yeah, fuck yeah, dude. Fuck yeah. I need 1,000 to walk too.
I would like to, if you don't mind. I'm kind of a big deal. So-
Wow, that's awesome. So obviously given in what you do, it's like a party all the time almost, right? Have you ever found yourself like getting really tired of the party scene?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, God, yeah. It's like a day where you're hungover and you're like, I cannot. You guys got to make me smile. Like,
Yeah.
I can't keep this party going. Entertain me.
I mean, that's the reason why you have the uppers. That way it can get you out of that mood. Because if not,
Well, that's not always true either, because there's a lot of come downs that come with a lot of lows with that shit. So, like, when you're partying, yeah, you're going to keep going. But, like, afterwards, like, when you're sitting there on the shower floor, just like, what the fuck am I doing?
well, Chris
Yeah.
knows that all too well. I can't tell
Yeah.
you. I can't co-sign on that. But
I just stayed up. That's it, you know, when I
No, we just.
when I went to jail, that's when it ended. That's it. You know?
I mean,
The goal is just keep going. You don't stop. You just keep going.
Yeah, dude. Honestly, that's such a unique lifestyle. Like I got to give you so many kudos for it because I partied a lot in college. We've talked about it a little bit on the pod before, but I never ever drank in high school. And when I got to college, it's I just like unloaded. And there was probably a period of time when we were living together in college. Oh God. Like a week straight, just every night, bringing home like a 12 or an 18 pack of beer, and we'll just play video games for no reason, then find some place to go, and just it was like something new every single night, right? I got to tell you though, like it got so exhausting to a certain point, and then your body, when you're hungover like 7 days in a row. For me at that time, it was just like, oh my God, I was young then, so it's like, man, somebody's got a party. I guess it'll be me. But eventually you just get to that point where like, bro, I just can't do it anymore.
I need to go home
Yeah.
and stay there.
Yeah, like it's
No, I gotta say, honestly, getting older with it, like oh, these hangovers are lasting a lot fucking longer.
I feel you on that.
I mean, the sign behind you is living the dream. So I
Yeah.
feel like that's exactly what you're doing. I mean, you found something at a young age and you've been doing it for quite some time. It's not like you deviated from it. You actually just traveled and expanded at it. This is something that you've grown comfortable with. And then eventually you said you were going to school. What are you going to school for now?
Criminal justice.
Ah.
Your girl's gonna be a lawyer.
So you're going to switch it up.
Here we go. Kanye.
So, listen, we're gonna do degenerate shit. We need to know how to get out of degenerate situations.
Exactly. I was getting ready to ask you, how did you just transition?
What up, everyone? Thank you so much for tuning in to part 1 with the amazing Miss Jamie. Some pretty unique stories, some pretty good times, unbelievable information to hear on that walk of life. So honestly, we had a great time sitting down and learning about her lifestyle. It was really cool. It was very interesting. Thank you again tuning in for part 1. You guys are going to want to tune in to part 2 a week away as usual every Wednesday. This is premiering on the 26th. Part 2 is going to premiere on May 3rd. So thank you again for tuning in to part 1. Be sure to check out part 2. Peace.